Welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Captain Mizzy.
Nerd is off for the weekend. She is headed to a gathering, so we invited Captain Mizzy on a very special episode, our top 5 episode. Our top 5 episode is going to be top 5 TV series, top 5 movies that are singles, top 5 movie series, and top 5 animation. We kind of had to break these down enough so we could do it in our time limit. I will not be painting this episode because we just got too much cool shit to talk about. But before we get anywhere, let's go ahead and talk about our sponsors. We want to thank Muse on Minis for hosting our channel and putting it out to the masses all over the world. Make sure you go check out their store and you can get some cool stuff on there. I know they're bringing out some new products. I want to thank Parabellum War Games, makers of Conquest Age of Kings. I can't remember what it was. I totally messed up.
Last Argument.
The Last Argument of Kings. Where you could play with orcs that ride dinosaurs. And they've got another new faction coming out pretty soon. We'll have to wait to see what that is. I want to thank Midnight Heroes for sponsoring us and providing some cool stuff. They are going to be at Warfare Weekend also. And on top of that, we released a picture of the special edition miniature that is coming out at Warfare Weekend, named by our famous Captain Mizzy. But it is the logo, it is the mascot for our mercenary group in chibi form. Which we're just going to have to do. If you want it, come and get it. He dropped the price down to $10 instead of $15.
Oh. Legit.
So, even better.
Get you Anna Vera. She's amazing.
What's interesting is one of our cosplayers is thinking about cosplaying as her this weekend, or at Warfare Weekend. We want to thank Creature Caster for sponsoring the channel. If you like all of Creature Caster's models, make sure you check it out. Also, check out Judgment, because I do have models on there for the Judgment game. If you like a compact, maximum 7 models to your army type thing to play with. They also do a Tribes, which is the My Mini Factory version of Patreon, where you can get roughly 10 models a month plus a 5th edition module to go with them, which I think is really cool. But it's also based on their own world. If you didn't know, Creature Caster has their own world called the World of Reclamation. And so they're building that up. I think this month was their first 2-parter. And you'll get the second part of the adventure and the models next month, which is not too far away. Who did I miss? Oh, Turbo Dork. Can't forget our good friends at Turbo Dork. We'll be giving away another gift certificate pretty soon, where you can get also the cool turbo shifting and metallic paints, but also these new silicone palettes.
I haven't cleaned mine out. Hold on.
Uh-oh. You gonna clean it up?
Look. There we go.
It's
Easy.
done.
Mine has some contrast paints in it, but, I got the old one.
You got the old style one?
Yeah.
But you can get all that, which is really good because those things are really awesome. I didn't think I missed anybody now. I got everybody right?
I think you're good now. Yeah.
I think I'm good now.
Sorry, I'm still cleaning. There's a couple other ones in here.
I know it gets like you
still,
start
it's like-
popping it out.
Like that, and literally, it's just clean. No water.
It's
no
just so
nothing. Just my
satisfying.
thumb.
Yeah.
It's great.
We will be giving. Let's give away one next week. It'll be
Next
the first of the month. Yeah, we'll give away another gift certificate to them next week on the 1st. That way you can get it, and they've also got some products by Game Envy on there too. So if you wanted to get it, anything they got, or you can get more paints because hey, we can always have more paints.
Unless you run out of room.
Unless you run out of room.
That's actually legitimately a problem that could happen with paints.
Yes.
Like, we laugh.
I'm not laughing. I have that problem.
I'm starting to realize, I'm going to figure out where to put stuff. I don't know what's taking up all the room. I don't know what that could be. But apparently I'm running out of room.
Yeah, and I have a whole new set of paint to give you too, so which I'll
know.
probably be shipping off this week.
I also have some boxes to send you that I've been lazy and haven't sent. I need to send them because stop being lazy, John.
Well,
Like
I've
Shisten.
got 12 racks of paint here. I've got 2 here and another 2 here. So I am literally surrounded by paint, and I haven't
I just
even
have
put away
bins.
my other one.
Bins of paint. They paint bins. 3 drawers, 6 drawers, and then 4 drawers of bigger ones, and then I don't know, and all over my desk. So yeah,
Yes, Gonzo, we know you have outrageous amounts of paint.
look at the nerd flex. Guys, I'm doing the nerd flex.
Yeah, tons and tons of paint. We all know that.
Yeah.
And I haven't even picked up the newest Turbo Dork set either. They have a new
People are
set.
jealous of your paint collection. You know that, right?
I like how it's all sorted and, organized. That's
Not like,
Yes.
I think the blues are in this fucking drawer. Oh, good, they are.
Yeah. So, do we have any shout outs this week? I don't think nothing came up this week that I know of.
Nothing.
Going to give a shout out to the Auto Workers Union for going on strike. 38 facilities went on strike today for better pay and better et cetera, which we know that they're trying to work on.
There must be like more because they've been on strike for a bit. I remember there was an altercation a couple days ago.
I know that I just read it yesterday that 38 facilities or something.
Yes.
I did find
Someone drove by and yelled racial slurs, which I'm sure seemed like a great idea at the time.
What?
Yeah.
I did think it funny
Trying to
that
find out.
when they said that they were going to strike, people are like, "Go ahead," and then right before they went to strike, Ford said, "Wait, we'll talk."
Well, for the writers and screen actors guilds, the bigwigs have said like this is our last and best offer. Well, it's not what they're asking for, so probably not gonna be your last and best offer.
I think I read somewhere that they're actually going back to the table on Monday.
Yeah, well, I
To
think
discuss.
they're expecting them to actually take the offer, but I don't think they're going to because they're not going to budge.
Yeah.
Because those guys don't realize. And here's the thing to realize, and this has been said to me in my company, where someone said to me, we're understaffed, so they're like, you need to write this person up. I'm like, why? They could quit. Like, well, we can't let one person hold us hostage. Well, if you can't get people in, that's fucking exactly what happens. You're not paying enough. You're not getting people in. People are holding you hostage. Workers need to realize they have rights. You keep hearing all these bigwigs, these people, and this is going to get a little deep for a second, talking about how one guy would talk about how I don't think there's enough unemployment. We need to see 50% unemployment so that these people realize they serve us and not the other way around. Motherfucker! When the revolution happens, you're the first one up against the wall.
Oh yeah.
We're in the guillotine. French got something right. You don't want that. If we only exist to make you more money, then you got to give us fair pay. Someone, the whole thing on Twitter, I don't know if you guys saw it, I watched a little more Twitter. Someone bitched about paying a lot of money in the airport for a meal. Now, granted, it turns out he's a lying sack of shit. It wasn't $78 for a meal. It's because he got fucking 3 whiskeys with his fucking meal. Well, shock when you buy overpriced alcohol in the airport and add it to your, it was like $20, $23 burger. Sure, $23 burger in the airport, a little pricey. I don't think it's outrageous for an airport. But that kind of thing where you're trying to make it seem like things are overpriced. A guy bitched up paying $14 in McDonald's for his whole meal. Like, yes, but the people who got to make it got to actually make real money and live their fucking life. We need to remember that. Any job worth doing is worth paying someone living for. Anyways, I should probably stop ranting. I haven't even drank yet. That's fucking problem.
So we're going to give a shout out to the people that are fighting for a better living and a better wage.
And keep fighting. Fight the good fight every day.
So with that, Captain Mizzy, what are you drinking tonight?
I have a orange peach nectarine water.
I
Because
thought that was going to be really interesting for a moment there.
no. Sober life. I got meds.
I live sober life-ish.
You drink for the rest of us. What are you talking about?
Look, I still made it into work on time on Monday after that. So I want to point that out.
Good job, John.
And what are
Proud
you
of
having, John?
I have a screwdriver.
How do you drink a screwdriver?
Out of a cup, generally.
Oh, okay. You're supposed to say with my mouth.
That's a little too vague. I'm going to give you a chance to be pedantic again.
I am doing the good old water again. I'm trying to get over these allergies and just got congestion and all that stuff.
Oh, Marshall, I thought we were friends.
There's no channel point.
Maybe.
We might have to have something at
Maybe.
a channel point thing for Captain Mizzy.
Just Marshall, whatever you do, please don't do the silly Gonzo one. Don't do the Tango with Terry, please. Or do it. I don't actually care. But think of it, I'll just wander off. Anyways, we should probably.
Let's go ahead and give a shout out. Guys, as usual, make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you take care of each other. If you see something, say something. If you hear something, do something. And if you can do something, do it. And if you can't find someone that will, we've got to start looking after each other. That's the
you're
thing.
scared to say something. It's fair.
Yeah,
It's a real thing. Tell someone who will do something about it.
Yeah. Just don't sit idle by.
Exactly.
Cheers.
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 Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't hear what you're drinking. Is it water?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it was water. Still water. Trying to get over the allergies and keep hydrated enough is what it is. I mean, the work I had to do this week was a lot of dust and particulates. And so it agitated my allergies and my throat and everything.
Wear a mask.
So,
Wear
yeah.
a mask.
wear a mask. Which,
Well, I keep it
speaking
in
about
my
that,
pocket
guys,
just in case.
just speaking about that, and it's just to say public service announcement type thing. COVID is on the rise again, and we did find out that the old tests are not picking up the new variants. So the government is actually
Hey,
sending
Article
out.
Boy.
The government, you can order new tests starting Monday if you need to get new home tests, and you'll deliver it to your house.
Please do so.
Yeah, everybody
That's
order
good
some
to
new
know.
tests. Just check each other out. We don't need it spreading around as much as we can.
Nope.
So,
Have your mask ready. Wear it if you feel uncomfortable.
yep. I still people still wearing it. I mean, hell.
Yeah, no problem. Some people, I find a lot more people now wear a mask when they're feeling sick. And
Yep.
hats off. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
Hey, Arda Michael. Didn't say hey. So let's go and get to the meat and bones because this is going to be a long episode. It's the reason why I'm not going to be painting during this one. I was trying to think of something that we could talk about, and of course, this time I made sure I got it way ahead of time because we're doing our top 5 of a lot of stuff.
He actually really, really did. I was-
I didn't bring this up, 5 minutes before the show or the day before. I gave it, like Monday or Tuesday?
It was Monday.
Yeah.
and because you know that I would have killed you.
I think it was Tuesday.
if
But
Yeah.
you
Close
had
enough.
not.
it was early enough in the week that even I managed to get time to do it.
So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the top 5s going down this. We're going to talk about the top 5 TV series, top 5 movies that are singled, top movie series, and top 5 animations. We could have broke the animation down a little bit further, but it kind of... We're going to run out of time.
We should have, but we were going to run out of time. So
Yeah.
let it slide.
We also, some of us imposed our own little rules and regulations. John, what was your rules and regulations that you had to impose on yourself?
Well, for single movies, I was originally just going to completely discount war movies, but then I decided instead to do sort of like each one from a different genre. So my top 5 of movies with no sequels is literally in no order. It's just my 5 favorite movies with there. Because otherwise
Gotcha.
you could easily... It could take forever.
Yeah, one of the things I did is I tried to figure out my top 5 and then tried to rank them, and I was like having a problem doing that, and I just couldn't.
So what we should have done is we should have done what Mount John did a while ago, is instead do your Mount Rushmore of those things.
Yeah,
So just pick 4, no order, just all on the Mount Rushmore for that particular topic. But
yeah.
So I have a problem with with what Gonzo just said because he told me that I had to rank mine. So, sir, you are very dirty.
hold on, my shocked face.
Not happy right now.
That's fair. That's fair.
I struggled so hard to rank these motherfuckers, but I did them. So, eat shorts, Gonzo.
I did have one of the rules
My
for
choice.
myself is there are some honorable mentions, but there was one of the things that I had to put on here that it is on my top 5, but doesn't fit what I'm looking at just because there was a lot of feels. And I think that this thing, and I'll bring it up when we get to that section, because it was so so part of me that I had to separate it from everything. But like I said, we're going to do our top fives, and I want to do animation first. And these are, of course,
Bold of you.
yeah, these are going to be, like I said, these are not like based on sales, not based on anything. These are based on our own personal preference. And when I was doing this, I went from like heart and gut and things that made me either feel or change the way I perceived things that affected me not only as a kid, but as an adult. So it covers a whole gambit of times. So I'm going to go first one, top 5. This is the thing we're talking about. Top 5 animations. One of my top 5, Akira. That show.
That's a bold move.
Yeah. That show, when I first saw it, I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Holy crap, this is cool as shit, though. It was one of my animes that I watched that I thought it was visually really cool. Had some really neat scenes in it. Made me question, standard, cartoons type stuff. And that motorcycle is just fucking badass, in my opinion. When I saw that, I was
it's
like...
It's also a very, very homaged scene.
Yes.
The sliding sideways motorcycle has been homaged. There's like a video on YouTube of it. It's like a ton of times.
Yeah. When I saw Akira when I was in, I was like, man, this is different than everything. I don't know what the fuck is going on right here. And I really don't care because this is still cool as crap.
Akira was not my first anime. It would be my Hall of Very Good, but not my Hall of Fame.
It isn't my Hall of Fame just because of everything that was going in with it and how I liked it. I just thought it was very groundbreaking and very cool for the time.
True. Oh, true.
Yeah. So, John, what's one of your top 5s?
I actually ranked mine, motherfucker. These, just the one list I didn't. Number 5 is Up.
Up is a very good show.
Up is amazing.
Any movie that can fucking kill you in the first 10 minutes like that.
Yeah.
And then still heartfelt to the rest. I'll be honest, there's a lot of animation where I was like in and out of the list, and just a couple just finally made their way on. Up is fucking great. I don't know what else I can say about it. I mean, it's fucking great. Feels, story.
Is that your number 5, John?
That's my number 5.
Okay.
Interesting thing about it is there is a short on Disney Plus right now where he goes on his first date with someone new. And I'm like, I can't watch that. I don't know if I'm just going to like... It's just going to hurt my...
It doesn't need a sequel.
No.
Nothing. It's done. Perfect. Chef's kiss. Take a bow.
Yeah.
But the shorts with Doug are super cute.
Yes,
I mean,
fun.
Doug is cute. But yes. Mizzy, what's your number 5?
So I went with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, we'll talk about that a little bit more later.
We will. We very much will.
I figured it. I knew it was going to be on y'all's list, but it's a lot of fun. My criteria for my list is, did I enjoy it? Would I watch it again? Does it bring me fun, comfort, or shenanigans? So it did that for me.
Absolutely fair.
And,
like I said, we'll talk. When we get to the final one of it, we'll probably talk about it in more depth because it's going to come up again.
My number 4, Iron Giant. Iron Giant to me is just so damn good. Yes. I love this. This gives me the feels when he says, what do you want to be? And he says Superman. I lose it every single time because, I mean, it goes back and it cracks me up that it's Vin Diesel doing the voice.
Oh, yeah.
And everything. I was like, I'm sure that this is the movie that set him up to play Groot.
Yeah.
Type thing.
I'm going to say something. But hot take, I've never seen Iron Giant.
Oh, man. It's so good.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It's got great feels. It's got great energy.
Wasn't on my radar when it came out, and then since just haven't had the opportunity.
Man, I know that like a lot of colleges, like for art or movie classes, require you to see that. And man, it is so good. It gives me the feels.
To watch, so.
It gives me the good feels. It gives me the moment to cry. And like I said, every single time he says Superman, I lose it. I'm like,
I've seen plenty of scenes. I understand the broad strokes, and I get a little bit on there. So
So that was my next one. I love it. I own it. I even own the toy
No, that's cool.
with him sitting on the shoulder. I just love Iron Giant. It is such
That's
a good
adorable.
movie. And the
Awesome.
animation style is really cool too.
Mhm.
John?
My number 4 is Shrek.
I can see that.
Like I was hemming and hawing with things, and then Shrek, and I realized how much we quote Shrek, like, and just how good it was. Could it change in a moment? Sure, it could change in a moment's notice. You know, El Marshall brought up some stuff that wouldn't make my top 5, but much like Akira, make my Hall of Very Good. He mentioned Fist of the North Star, Ninja Scroll, and Vampire Hunter D. The others we'll talk about later. But yeah, I mean, Shrek just really good, and like any movie you quote like that. Like there were some single movies that almost made my list. There'll be honorable mentions that I quote like that, and could have made the list. But
Going back on like honorable mentions and stuff, there was a lot of things that I'm sitting here like, man, this was really good. This is really good. This is really good.
I didn't bother with animation because there's so much anime I've watched about. I mean, the ones Marshall noted were all formative early animes.
Yeah.
There's a ton of those, and we could go on forever. But I'm trying to keep a little concise. But yeah, definitely Shrek. It's very good. It holds up today, and quotable as fuck.
There it is. Mizzy?
Mizzy.
One Piece.
Shocker.
I'm shocked it's not
Big
higher.
shock. So, spoiler alert. Also, every single one of my lists has a pirate show or movie on it.
That's just
Even
perfect.
bigger shocker.
No one is surprised. But yeah, so One Piece, the anime, I love that shit so much, and I don't care what Gonzo says. I enjoy the animation. So
Kara Gonzo says because you
it,
like
br-
it. He ain't
it
gotta
brings
like
me
it.
joy.
Yes. And that's the thing about this list. It's not like it says, we're not talking about this should be an Academy Award. This is what either touches us emotionally, makes us happy, you know, puts us in a good place, or puts us in a sad
Quotable.
place because we want to be in a sad place.
Or brings you through all of the emotions.
Yeah.
All
a
the
good,
feels.
A good film will. We'll get you all
yeah.
through the feels.
My
Gonzo,
number
Trace.
3,
Trace.
this movie, when I first watched it, I was like, holy fuck, this is cool as shit. We will never get another fantasy telling of this
Nevermore,
story
That's a good one.
in our entire life, and no one's ever going to be doing any better. And it's The Hobbit, the Raskin and Bass version. That right there, when I saw that as a kid, I was like, fuck yes, this is amazing. This is great. It brings back old memories of, you know, make-believe. I love the crap of it. Even the songs and, you know, everything.
I
that was
knew
in-
someone was going to put this on there. I was pretty sure it would be Gonzo.
Yeah. I mean, this movie, when I saw it as a kid, I was like, this is like my, you know, transition to make sure, you know, that I was really into fantasy and really into stuff. And it was, you know, it's one of those pivotal, you know, core memories of mine watching this. And I had to buy it, you know, I bought it on VHS, I bought it on DVD, bought it on, you know, everything.
It's another good barometer.
Yeah.
Did you buy it on VHS? Did you buy it on DVD? Would you buy it on Blu-ray? Are you thinking about buying the Steelbook Collector's Edition?
Yes. And if they made action figures of all of those characters exactly like Raskin and Bass did, I would buy every one of those motherfuckers and put them up because this movie is a core memory in my life.
Yep.
It is
Don't
so
let
good.
anyone tell you it doesn't hold up. It don't matter if it holds up for them, as long as it holds up for you.
And I loved it to death. One of my favorite movies of all time. Favorite cartoons of all time. John?
My number 3 is Into the Spider-Verse. It's a perfect movie. Really is. Could not change it. We'll talk about it when it comes up on your list.
Shocker.
Yeah, shocker.
No
All
one
right.
is surprised.
Captain Mizzy, number 3.
Dragon Prince.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's a newer one.
It is a newer one, but it's got really great story, and I love the characters, and I need to catch up on it because I'm a slacker.
A really good representation
There's a
now,
lot of
too.
media.
Yeah.
It does have a lot of good representation for people that are, I would say, outside the norm. And I put quotes around that. But it doesn't throw it in your face either. It's like,
That's
it just
the best.
Right.
there.
It's just there. It's part
It's
of
just
it.
a
Move
part of the world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
100%. Dragon Prince is that was one that I was waffling on. I was like, oh, but
But you have so many other good options.
Yes.
There's a couple. There's like because someone mentioned something similar. Someone mentioned Xander had mentioned mine, and never mind. Just go ahead. I'm thinking of something else. But I'm thinking of some honorable mentions that I didn't think of earlier. But go ahead, Gonzo. Number 2.
Number 2.
2.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Well, there we go. We know.
Fuck this. I will tell you, the animation style of this, when I first saw it, I was kind of turned off because I'm so used to, straight lines, everything. But once I started watching it, I was like, no, these people knew what they were doing when they did this style.
Well, the good thing is that people in the theater were like, "Is this fucked up or is this what it's supposed to be?" I'm like, "No, dude, this they're doing a style." It's like, "Oh, cool." And the good thing is, having watched so much anime, I was ready for different styles. I love that things are in different styles. It's great.
Yeah,
Yes.
the way they styled it, and especially, I watched a couple of behind the scene things, and when Miles is first starting to swing,
Oh,
they changed the frame rate.
if you watch Everything Great About Into the Spider-Verse or CinemaWins, they go through all of that. It's great. There's a bunch of stuff on that. Oh my god.
And then when he starts able to swing better, they increase the frame rate, and it makes it smoother
so
and cleaner.
Looks smoother. Yep. It's they know what they're doing with that.
Yeah. Whenever we're doing this and I'm watching the show, I'm like, Miles Morales is one of my favorite Spider-Man of all time. Alternate, from Peter Parker type thing. I've always liked it. Loved the comic. Loved the the story. Loved the character. I like the young Miles Morales. A kid being Spider-Man. And whenever in the movie and he goes to buy the suit and it's Stan Lee says it always fits, I just lose it.
Yeah. Stanley cameos get me on a lot of things now, but that one especially.
Yeah. That one, there's something about this. This is the perfect starting story, and I think it is probably the best Spider-Man movie ever made, in my opinion. There's
No, I can't argue with that.
I mean, it is solid. It's done well, too, because they don't spend a lot of time, on everything. It's not like, we're going to spend 75% of the show.
Drama.
Yeah.
Undo college or high school. Like, it's Spider-Man 1, for all of its good stuff. The fault is it's too much high school bullshit drama a little bit. So I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It is just so good. I was just so happy with it. I mean, I couldn't get to the theater to watch it, so as soon as it came out to buy digitally, I bought it digitally, got many copies. I mean, I'm a huge Miles Morales fan. I got, you name it.
Yeah.
Anything that's Miles Morales, I get it because I just love the character.
Absolutely. Xander put his out there real quick. Cowboy Bebop, Naruto, first two series. Tenchi Muyo, which is another favorite of mine. That would be an honorable mention of me. Oh My Goddess and Ghost in the Shell first series. I'd actually put the Ghost in the Shell movie in there, but I saw it in the theater, so I'm a little biased. As far as Ghost in the Shell animated movie, I saw it.
Oh My Goddess. It's been forever since I've seen that, but it's still good. Ghost in the Shell, the standalone complex, almost made this list. It was one I had to take out.
I did not ignore Cowboy Bebop, Xander Overlord. I think we're about to go to my number 2.
Yes, you're number 2.
Cowboy Bebop. It's fucking great. And I know, don't at me that it's not first. You'll understand when you hear me talk about the first one. But it's just great. It is a great series. Beginning, middle, end flows perfectly and made in such a way that they put the movie out afterwards. It just slides right in.
Yep.
They could do that as much as they wanted to. The animation's great. The world building is great. They never waste time with anything you don't need to. You learn what you need to through just naturally things happening in the visuals. The action scenes are amazing. The music is fucking off the chain. Completely off the chain. Like, hands down, the best music of any animation thing ever. Like, I will not take any arguments on that one. It's the best.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome. I've seen it multiple times. I think El Marshall's borrowing mine right now. Hopefully he and his son enjoyed it. And then watch it again at some point. Maybe buy it on Blu-ray. Maybe they'll have a nice special edition out that I can spend money on because I would. Busy. Numero dos.
Mulan.
Okay.
Mulan was pretty good.
Because I
going for Disney. I've seen it.
it's a movie from my childhood. The songs are amazing. I will belt that shit out when I'm going on road trips because that's what you do.
Like we start up on you, to start up on your house, to start up on your cow. We still quote that. It's a good one.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy, fucking, like, in the same vein as Robin Williams as a genie, does Mushu fucking great.
Yes.
He just knows how to steal every scene he's in without detracting from the movie.
Yep.
It's great.
So
It's great. I can't argue with you at all.
My top one, Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
Fuck.
I saw
Fuck.
that.
I
knew
am
it.
a huge Cowboy Bebop fan. I own action figures. I own posters. I bought the collector's edition that came with a CD of the music for the entire thing. And I listen to that all the
I
time.
should send you. I bought the soundtrack for the movie. It
Yeah,
has some really good songs, and I'll try and get you some copies of that.
there is something about Cowboy Bebop, because what was funny is when I'd never heard of it, but I was going to Best Buy and I was like, oh, let's go buy some anime, and I saw this thing. It was the Perfect Session box set, and I was like, it's kind of expensive, but it's a complete series. Cool, I don't mind that. I don't have to buy anything more, and it comes with a CD of the music. I'm like, cool. I take it home, and I watched the ever living shit of that.
It
Yeah,
exploded.
I was like
I have to give a shout out to my boy Mike Webb, who worked at Alliance Games Distribution, worked at other places before that. It's moved on since, but Mike Webb is a great human being and introduced me to Cowboy Bebop, and have not regretted it in any way, shape, or form.
Whenever that opening music of Cowboy Bebop, you're just
Tank?
like,
Yeah,
when you
fucking
play
Tank.
Hear Tank, you're like, there's some good shit gonna happen.
I mean, I've loved Yoko Kanno stuff for a while, but fucking Yoko Kanno just fucking killed it there. Yoko Kanno is the John Williams of fucking anime, basically.
Yeah. There is, I don't think there's ever going to be, and even though Samurai Champloo is done by the same crew and everything, and that almost made my list, and it is kind of Cowboy Bebopping feel, still good, but there is just something about this. Because when I watched the ending of it, the ending episode in Spike, and I'm like, shit, they just killed off the main
Ended.
character.
But that's what had. I mean, that was the way that thing had to end.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Vicious is a great villain built up perfectly. Everyone who's a main character has an arc. Some of the fucking minor characters have an arc. People
Yeah.
you barely see have an arc. You're like, oh look, that's what happened to that person. Oh cool.
And the old men that
Yes.
are played out through the whole thing.
It's great. I mean, it is how you make a fucking anime series.
And I want to do. There's going to be honorable mentions, but I'll get everybody else. Let y'all get your number one out too.
Yeah, we should keep those quick because we're going a little long.
Yeah. So, John,
Number one, Robotech.
I can see that.
I will not take any arguments. It's fucking great. It was my formative. It was the thing I made time for. I have bought them on VHS multiple ways. I bought them on DVD fucking multiple times. Bought them on Blu-ray. Bought lots of toys, everything. It is my absolute most formative. Played the role-playing game. Bought the role-playing game. I mean, a lot of people bitch on it. Fuck those guys. I don't care about you. I don't care what you think of Harmony Gold. Harmony Gold introduced fucking America mainstream to anime. Like, yeah, Speed Racer wasn't that big. I'm here to tell you I was there for it. Transfer Z, not that fucking big. Robotech fucking did it. There's a generation, 2 generations of fucking anime fans because of Robotech.
Oh yeah.
Paved the way for a lot of stuff. We would not have all the awesome robot stuff we have if it wasn't for that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I fucking love it. Every part of it.
Mizzy?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
That one
fair.
made
Not
one of my
really
honorable
surprised.
mentions. That was going to be one of my honorable mentions. I was going to say it couldn't fit on the list, but damn, it's still so good.
Yeah, the story's great. Characters are amazing. Everybody gets their moment.
Mhm.
I love it.
Yeah, that one, that was one of my honorable mentions. Plus, especially Korra, and like I said, Dragon Prince was one of my honorable mention ones.
I am gonna
Um,
have to rewatch Korra when I'm not binge watching it 3 days straight.
Fair. My honorable mentions, Toy Story just came to my mind. It's technically animation. Fucking should have made an honorable mention. It's a Hall of Famer, but doesn't make my top 5. And then The Simpsons. I may not be a huge fan of it. May not watch a lot, but it's been around forever.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And is always right there on like the cutting edge thing. So I mean, you got to give an honorable mention to The Simpsons.
Let's go with a movie series.
Movie series? Okay.
yeah.
I have a rule I added.
Okay, what role did you add?
Marvel Cinematic Universe does not count.
See,
It's
I
not a series; it is multiple series.
I was so on. That was one of the things I was like, man, it is not a series, but it is a conglomerate.
I feel like it should get an honorable mention because
Yes.
they did what no one else has done successfully. Look, you DC. I know you try.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so hard. This one was my hardest to do for me.
This one was
Wasn't
my
as-
easiest.
It started hard and then got really easy because I realized so many movie series are destroyed by some really, really shit late entries.
Yeah. And that's going to come up as a topic on one of my top 3.
I
So
mean, it's going to come up on one of mine too, but not to the same extent.
mine is, my first one is Indiana Jones. And I'm going to specifically say 1, 2, and 3.
No, stop. You can't do that. You're taking all 5 or you're not taking any at all. Fuck out of here with that. Hold on. Let me interrupt you. My number 5, Indiana Jones. All 5. I'm not even joking. It's my number 5.
Yeah, it's now. Here's the thing: whenever and the reason why I say 1, 2, and 3, even though I haven't seen all of them yet, is because 1, 2, and 3 were such a pivotal part of my life when I was watching them. They are done so well. You know, green screen is down to nothing. It's great. You know, physical.
I mean, you
Everything.
let Mizzy cheat on hers. We can't cheat on yours. All 5. And I'm willing to say all 5.
Yeah,
I'm here to tell you, Kingdom vs. Skull, not that bad.
yeah.
It is better than a lot of movies out there.
It is
It's
still.
not quite up to the top of the first 3, and the same with Dial Destiny. It's not top 3, but they're all fun adventure movies like they don't make anymore.
No, they don't.
People have lost that sense of wonder and fun. That's why when something new comes out, The Mummy, which did not make it on this list, almost an honorable mention, or something like that comes out, people flock to it because it's that same feel, but it's a little fresh, and people are too stuck in their ideas of what should be, which makes these series hard. So a lot of them fall off. Is they're stuck in what the thing should be, and when it doesn't live up to their memories of what it was before, and they're doing different things, like they fucking grumble and fuck them. All 5 of these movies are 2 space herpes or less, and they're tells a great story.
The one thing that whenever I was doing this, I was like, the reason why these movies hit a lot harder for me than the newer ones is because it was all done with stunts and exploding vehicles and launch
They still
pads.
keep some of that alive, but there's always going to be some computer graphics in
Yeah,
there.
it was just so hard. Captain Mizzy, since John and I were with Indy on number 5, what's yours?
So funnily enough, John said mine, and it is The Mummy.
Okay.
Can't argue. I mean, it was going to make my list, but then Indy came in and said, "No, sit down, O'Connell."
Yeah.
Though, please God, anyone out there, graphic novel, anything, animated, team up, the O'Connells and Indy, fuck yes.
Yes, I'm
100%
down for
in.
that.
200% in. I don't believe in 200%.
but yeah.
No, the mummies are great. The first one is literally an Indiana Jones movie, but the
It's a
characters
classic.
are all different.
Yep.
The second one just builds on its own mythos, goes a little bit off the rails, but you forgive it because it's such a fucking great time.
Yep.
And the third one is enjoyable.
Yeah.
I would say it's still maybe two space herpy, but still super fun. And it's almost there. There's a couple scenes you change a couple things in, and it goes down to be top tier. I cannot argue with that movie group at all.
Yeah. Gonzo.
So my number 4 is the Matrix series. Even though
Oof.
the last of it was way off the rails, this series did a lot of changing of cinema the way we are. And I love the first one a lot.
Yeah, I challenge. The first one definitely changed the way cinema went.
Yeah.
The second and third ones did not.
Second and third one, and I think and it's just because it's just so many.
Just,
It's
you went from the heights to mediocrity.
yeah,
Like, yes,
correct.
there are scenes in the second, third one that are fucking chef's kiss.
Yes,
But not the whole movies. The whole was just tired. It's like, George Lucas going back after Star Wars going, well, I had always planned for a trilogy. Yeah, sure you did, George. Get
and the thing is I think the reason why is because when I watched the first one, I'd never even heard of it. They were like, "Hey, we're gonna go see the Matrix." I'm like, never even heard of it. Never even saw a preview. Never saw a trailer for it. And I was like, okay. Went and saw it, and we're like, holy fuck, that was cool as shit. I was like, man, hope they make some more. And then we got 2, and we were like, oh.
But 2 and 3 came quick, and 2 didn't like totally like, okay, 2 weird, and then 3 you're just like, oh yeah, never mind. That was I mean, sure, it's ended, it's over.
Yeah.
It's the
And
same
then they
way I
made
feel
4.
about another series that Missy's going to bring up later.
Yeah. So, John, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is John Wick.
I can see that.
Okay.
Sure, only 4 movies, only. But they're fucking all top tier. Great action, story. It goes a little off the rails in the third one, whatever, but it's still great entirety. And they're still potentially going. They got John Wick 5 coming out. Whether or not John Wick's in it or not, we will see. But, it's great. And much like I said, the first one changed action cinema. A lot of cuts, good stunts, just a good
I remember
series.
when the first one came out, people were like, you got to watch this. This is really cool. Because it wasn't a great commercial hit. And it
I did
became a
not
cult
see
classic instantly.
the first one in the theater, but I've seen all the rest in the theater.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones where I watch all the previous entries before I watch the next one. So,
Captain Mizzy?
I went with the Oceans movies.
oh, okay, fair.
I actually watched all 3 of them this week.
You count the female one in there?
I did not count the female one,
I feel like if you count the female one, it's fine.
but
because I didn't hear it was bad. It
it's
just
not
wasn't
bad. But I'm thinking more of 11, 12, and 13 with Danny Glover and the crew.
The original cast.
I love the
So
shenanigans.
you're talking, 2 Zero Space Herpes and a half to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
A few series can reach that level of too. I mean, they were on my list to think about, but didn't quite make it. It would be an honorable mention if you didn't bring it up, and you did. So
I did.
It's great, and they're fun.
They're
It's
fun.
letting characters
They bring-
be characters.
and I need the shenanigans in my life.
Yes.
So
I love a good heist movie. I can see
Yes.
that. A good heist movie is always fun to watch.
And it's got the right style.
yes.
My number 3, and I actually dug into the MCU for this because, like you, I was like, I can't include the MCU as a package.
That's fair.
But I had to include this because this was the pinnacle of a Marvel universe and everything went together. And I'm going to say the Avengers.
Okay.
Just because of the last 2 movies of the Avengers, Endgame and so on and so forth, because there was so much to this. I've never felt, when I was watching this and when Captain America gets the hammer, I'm like rock hard. I'm like, fuck yes.
Absolutely would have been an honorable mention for me.
Yeah.
It misses out because Infinity War was not good.
I mean,
by not good for Avengers movies, like 1.5.
Yeah.
But it left a bad taste in my mouth, and
Yeah.
I also don't feel like they matter as much if you take the rest of the MC movies out of there. So definitely honorable mention, but that sort of falls into the whole MCU. But I could see the Avengers.
Yeah, the Avengers with that, and it's mostly just because of the Endgame, because it's just so damn good.
Interesting.
John?
We'll get to some of your guys' mentions at the end as honorable mentions. If we don't talk about them, we're going to talk about several of those.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Mission Impossible.
I can see how that is.
Yeah.
I mean, I have only not seen one of them in the theater. I go out of my way to see them in the theater now, and honestly, the lowest point of quality is when you had John Wick do a movie, and it was still not a bad movie, just a little outside for that. Like, the first 3 Mission Impossible movies were very different beasts as far as subgenre. You had total spy thriller where there's almost no gunplay. You had John Wick direct one, so gunplay.
Yeah.
And then you had, the sort of balance of it that sort of set the pace for the rest of them since, and they've just been great. Highest quality, amazing stunts. You talk about lack of green screen. That's a movie series that's so little green screen whenever they can.
Yeah.
If fucking Tom Cruise jumps a motorbike off a fucking cliff, Tom Cruise jumped the motorbike off a fucking cliff.
I think he did it like 5 times, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He learned how to pilot a helicopter for this. Just top notch.
Yep.
What can you say?
Mizzy?
My number 3 is The Kingsman.
Okay.
I also, like I said before, I watched that this week and loved every minute of it, and it has a pug in it. I'm a sucker for pugs. We know this. But
the
but
villain
Colin-
at the end did not die enough for killing the pug.
no,
Motherfuckers.
motherfuckers. Yes.
You can't kill JB like that.
No. Precious baby.
My number 2, Star Wars.
Okay.
And specifically
That
4,
is
5,
on
and
two
6.
people's lists, Marshall and Xander Forward.
Yeah.
I actually feel you can count them all. They are telling one
Correct.
giant story. So
4, 5, and 6 just hold a very special place in my heart because I grew up with those type
Taking
things.
them all. You're taking none of them.
But
We
4,
talked
5,
about
and
this.
6, definitely. I mean, I have the Jedi Code tattooed on my ribs. I mean, I own very multiple, lightsabers. It is such a great world, and it's such a spawn.
My number 2, Star Wars.
Okay, so you're going with me too.
Yeah.
It's just there's something about it. Even if the shows you don't like the shows that are coming out, it has spawned an entire universe of stuff.
And even given my not love for the prequel era, from beginning to end, it still tells a pretty good story. Even if I don't agree with the way they tell all of it, it's the story of the rise and fall and end of the Skywalker line.
Yeah.
And you don't get many epics like that. And people cannot like the sequels, cannot like the prequels. I don't fucking care. It's still good from beginning to end. We can bitch about how bad they are, but literally even the prequels are still better than most of the sci-fi out there.
Yeah.
They're still in the top half of sci-fi. So
Captain Mizzy?
So, my number 1 and my number 2 fought for their positions.
I mean,
but
I know what one of them is. I don't know what the other one is.
so my number 2 is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Well, that was on L. Marshall's list.
Yes. It's just so fucking good. It's pirates. It's shenanigans. Jack Barbosa.
I've told you I need to rewatch.
Ugh.
I need to rewatch 2 and 3, then watch 4 and 5 at all, because I sort of feel the same way about 2 and 3 as I did about the Matrix sequels, but I don't think they are the same. I think it was just didn't hit expectations. I think were wrong for me on that. But the first one's fucking
All right. First one is
absolutely.
a masterpiece.
If it was a one-off, it'd probably be on my list.
Yeah. So my number 1, Lord of the Rings.
Hey,
Big
guess
fucking
what?
shocker.
I don't want to interrupt you. My number 1, Lord of the Rings. Mizzy?
Hey, also, Lord of the Rings.
I mean, there is something. I mean, even the special. We're so many years past on this. I mean, we're 20 years from the first one, and it still holds up, and I still watch it every Christmas time because that is my
They
tradition.
still hold up.
It still holds up.
They used a lot of practical and you know what? I'll even put The Hobbit in there. If you put The Hobbit in there too, I don't fucking care. I'll still take it number 1.
I will tell you, the Lord of the Rings. I don't think we'll ever have another series that does this.
The bar is set super high. No one's going to reach it.
Yeah.
And that was on Marshall's list also.
Yep.
For the other ones, Xander Vollard put Batman. I don't think makes it on mine. Honorable mention, but there's
It is
too
an
many
honorable mention
continuities and quality a little sketchy. Jackie Chan's Police Story. It's a good choice.
Back to the Future almost made my list.
Yeah, Back to the Future almost. Indy just beat Back to the Future by a little bit because I think Indiana Jones 1, 2, and 3 beat Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3 by the smallest margin each, and then they had 2 more movies on.
Yeah.
Yeah, extended editions are legit. The only movie where the extended editions are like must watch. Like, oh, you got the regular edition. Why would I do that? The extended editions are fucking amazeballs.
All right. We're going to do movie singles.
Movie singles.
Yeah.
The one I struggled with.
I hope you're planning on going into.
Yeah.
media
We're
section
we're
with this,
going to get
okay.
this all done. So my number 5 movie singles. Do you have a? Go ahead, John.
Honorable mention.
Oh, honorable.
Highlander. There should have been only one.
Yeah, there should have been only one. Movie singles. Fifth Element is my number 5
Oh, that's a bold choice.
because it is just it is such a fun movie for me, and it's got a good heartfelt ending to it.
I say it every time. It is greater than the sum of its parts.
Yes.
It should not be that good.
No.
Somehow it is.
And I mean, there's so many lines that are quotable from it. There's just so many good, fun things. And I found out that Prince should have been played. Prince was actually supposed to play.
Rod?
Yeah, Rod. I was like, Holy fuck.
How do you make a movie better that was already really good?
I
That's
know.
how.
Yeah, he actually turned down the role, and I was like, Ruby Rod, played by Prince. Holy
Didn't
fuck.
cost Chris Tucker his best role, but anyway.
Yes. Fifth Element, if I see it, or if I know it, and it's on, I'm watching it. John, you're number 5.
As I said, these are not in any numerical order. I just chose different ones from different genres because I'm not ranking this shit. In the I'm gonna go with the sci-fi one because this is gonna cause people to fucking spit up and whatever. I had a lot of things fighting for my sci-fi sort of movie, but what won is something that I've bought records of multiple times, soundtrack for multiple times, VHS copy of, extended edition VHS copy of, DVD copy of, Blu-ray copy of, action figures for. It's a Black Hole.
Yep, I can see that.
I know people don't like it. I don't care. I fucking love that movie. That is my formative. Robert Forster is great in it. Roddy McDowall and Slim Pickens as the robot voices of Old Bob and Vincent. Fucking great. All the cast does it. Anthony Perkins, Ernest Borgnine, Maximum Michelle. This movie should have been a lot bigger than it was. It just didn't know what it wanted to be. And it has like a sort of 2001 ending that sort of threw people off.
Yeah.
And it's a little violent for a Disney movie, I'll be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Funny note is that they asked ILM to use their camera, the one for shooting with the my brain's not working right. Their camera to shoot with the backgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
ILM said no, so they built one and making a better camera.
Captain Izzy, you're number 5?
Number 1. I'm glad you like it as well. I fucking love The Black Hole.
So this is actually a new movie. It is based on a book, and it's super cute. I loved it. It's called Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Okay.
It's about the President of the United States falling in love with one of the princes of England.
Okay.
And how that relationship forms. And it's just gorgeous. I loved it. Made me get all up in my feels. And it was a really great ending. And it followed the book with some minor changes. But what made it so great is that the author had a hand in making the movie.
Good.
So all of the changes were author approved.
Yep.
Awesome.
So.
My number 4, Bangarang, Hook. It is my favorite Robin Williams movie. I love this movie because it's just so fun. It hits a lot of feels. It would be, I was like, okay, this is a story that hasn't been done, but is still cool as shit. I really like this because Robin Williams goes through all the things. You see a serious side of him. You see the kid side of him. You see the fun side of him. And then you see a caring side of him. I really like Hook. I like all the actors in it. It's all played very fun. And it,
But a little dark. But a little dark.
It was a little dark, yeah. But the thing is, it really shows a lot of good character building and the character stories. Because whenever Hook gets his hat taken off and, it shows him balding and stuff, and he's like, asking, let me save face, let me, be who I am, and he does, and it's just like, man. And Rufio is just fun as shit, too.
Yeah.
Those kids just make that movie even funner.
I feel like if I'd seen that when I was a little bit younger, it would have hit that point for me.
Yeah. John, you're number 4?
Remember, not numbers.
Your
So,
fourth one
I
on
also
your
want to
list.
note that L. Marshall's list he posts is pretty much all going to be right at the end. Those are all honorable mentions. Any one of those could have made my list.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Western. He chose Tombstone. Great choice. I chose Silverado because Silverado is fucking great.
Okay.
It is not as violent as the other Westerns. It has a lot of heart. It's got good character building, good story, and a lot of good actors putting in great performances and just enjoyable and fun to watch. It's kind of like watching the, it's an ensemble cast. It's like watching a Western sort of Oceans type of movie.
Yeah.
Where you just got a bunch of people together that are just great actors and you just let them go.
All right.
Busy?
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs is a good one. That'd be an honorable mention for me.
It's not
So-
even my favorite Mel Brooks, but it's definitely worth putting on the list.
So I've had to go through the movies that I owned, and
Yeah.
then, like,
Oh, no,
okay, what
this
do
was
I
the
own?
hardest.
What do I
Come on.
watch? Like, I kept thinking, like, okay, this one's got it. No, fuck, I can't use that one. Shit, damn
But
it.
Marshall posted 5 movies, and every one of them could have been my list. Like, entirely possible.
But I love Spaceballs. It's hilarious.
It is.
It's really
Fucking
fun. It's
honorable
really
mention, since you bring it up,
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. Yeah. that's
Fucking
another one.
Galaxy Quest. Man. Oh, I think it counts as being as part of the Star Trek series, is that right?
No. Although they're putting it into a TV series. My number
Good
3.
list, Sander. We do have to say we don't allow movies as part of a series just to make it easier. Otherwise, you get a lot of weird stuff. But that's a good list. Princess Bride, fucking
We'll talk
easily
about that in
honorable
a minute.
mention. Yeah. Oh, will we? There we go.
We will.
Number 2, Big Trouble in,
Okay.
or number 3,
No,
excuse me.
3.
Number 3, Big Trouble in Little China.
It's an honorable mention for me. It's on Marshall's list. That's a great movie.
I'll watch it every
Backwards
single
and forwards.
time. It's just really, really good, really fun. I quote it all the time. Tell people to watch it because it's just good fun. Because it was like, what does Jack Burton say? Who? Jack Burton. Me.
Me. What Jack Burton says. What the hell?
It's just so good, so fun. Just a
Marshall,
great
it's
movie.
A hard list. 5 is hard.
Yeah.
That's why I went
Shawshank.
by category.
Shawshank almost made my list.
I've never seen Shawshank.
All right, John, you're number 3?
My number 3, not in numbers.
Correct.
I went pure action movie, and it was a fight between 2 Hong Kong movies, both directed by John Woo, Hard Boiled or The Killer. I'm with Hard Boiled because Hard Boiled is fucking awesome.
Yep.
Chow Yun-fat is amazing in it. The rest of the people are good in it. It has like 2 giant set piece action sequences that are just amazing. And it's just a great movie. It's like, it is what I want from an action movie. It is like proto John Wick. Hong Kong does a lot of stuff different. It's just oozes style and is super formative. It is one I had to go search out on VHS way back in the day. Probably cost me way more than it should have. It was like $50 at the time, and I paid it gladly. I bought it on DVD. We'll buy it on Blu-ray as soon as they got the Criterion or Steelbook version. It's fucking great.
Mizzy?
The Birdcage.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because I was looking at Robin Williams movies. I knew you were going to put Hook on your list.
I don't even know what my favorite Robin Williams is. I don't know.
But I was scrolling through the list and I was like, "Oh yeah, The Birdcage. That's a great movie." And then I rewatched it this weekend. I'm like, "Yeah, no, that has to go on my list."
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
My number 2 is Princess Bride.
Okay.
Princess Bride.
We'll mention that. Yeah.
It
Marshall's
is.
glad left it off. Xander Borland had it on there. I didn't, and I don't know why I didn't, but it didn't make it.
It's still quotable, still great cast. Billy Crystal's awesome for the little bit of time he's in there. I mean,
When you just get a great cast,
Yeah.
you just let them go. Mandy Patinkin, fucking Carrie Elwes. I mean, most of them aren't even huge names.
No.
They're just giving a great performance.
Yeah,
Andre the Giant. Fucking Andre the Giant.
Yeah, and some of the stuff, the behind the scenes stuff that happened in that show, was just
Andre
amazing.
the Giant.
Yeah, Andre the Giant.
Cheers.
Cheers. I mean, it's still one of the most quotable movies too. You know, My Name is
Absolutely.
and Have Fun Storming the Castle.
That's why single movies are so tough. There's so many good ones.
Yeah, it's
Respectfully, Banion Hackers would not make my top 5 ever.
nope. So what is your
love it, but
what
not
is
like
your
that.
second movie?
So this one's a fucking knockdown, drag-out fight. I'm going to make a decision on which one of these 2 wins. It's a fight between my 2 favorite war movies, which are Black Hawk Down and Zulu. I think I'm going to give Zulu the edge.
Oh, I think the reason
Black Hawk Down
why.
is great. I love Black Hawk Down. I've read the book. I've watched the movie. I've watched it. It's a great movie, but Zulu is fucking next level. Especially realize how long ago it was made. It's Michael Caine's first performance, and someone asked on Twitter this past week, "What's your favorite Michael Caine performance?" And I had to say, Zulu. His first performance was great. Everyone does it well. The sets and everything are great. I've said this in my review. They don't paint the Zulus as ignorant savages.
No.
How rare is that nowadays? Even in even in Black Hawk Down, they try to not do it, but they do it to an extent.
Yep.
Like, but I think Black Hawk Down lost out just because the book is better and the movie's not quite 100% true to what happened, but it's close enough, and it's a knockdown, drag-out fight. But definitely Zulu. If you haven't seen it, fucking check out Zulu. Holy shit! Bought it on Blu-ray. I would buy a Steelbook special edition, even though I just put the Blu-ray like a year ago. I don't fucking care.
Mizzy?
Another movie that I watched this week that ended up being my number 2 is Muppet Treasure Island.
It's
Because-
classic.
Classic.
I count that as standalone. Works.
Tim Curry is fantastic.
Look, the joke from that is that the reason it's so good is because Michael Caine counts the Muppets as fellow actors,
Yep.
and Tim Curry counts
Acts
himself
as
as
a
a fellow
Muppet.
Muppet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? I can't argue with that. Tim Curry.
Yeah, Tim
He's still
Curry.
alive.
Yeah, but still, that Muppet Treasure Island is still pretty fun.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great and everything. Fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck. Honorable mention Clue. Fuck. I didn't know Clue. It's too many. Like, guys, let me tell you, if you ever do this, don't do top 5 all at once. Fucking do it by genre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I keep thinking of stuff like, fuck, this is great. Fuck, this is great. I'd have to have a top 50. Look, spoiler, I couldn't even put Casablanca on my list.
Yeah, neither could I. My number
Try.
one,
Mhm.
and it's because it was such a pivotal part of my life as a kid, Dark Crystal. Dark Crystal
That's a bold move.
is
I saw that.
it is so much part of my childhood. When I saw it in the theaters, I was like, holy crap, that was done with Muppets? That's cool as shit. And it was scary as fuck, too, as a little kid.
So, people, here's a perfect illustration of, you may not agree with somebody, but it's all good. That doesn't even make honorable mention for me. Watched it a million times, like, oh yeah, cool. Like, I don't think I ever really considered it for the top 5, but okay.
Yeah, it makes my top 5 just because of how well it was done. I thought it was a great story. I even bought the RPG. I buy everything Dark Crystal I can get a hold of.
Dark Crystal was good.
Yeah, it holds a very special place in my heart. Growing
That's
up,
Captain Mizzy. Muppets count as movies, not as animation.
Exactly.
Actually, I know you were talking something else with that.
but
The series or not, I'm with you.
I just love it. I was really upset when they canceled the prequel to the TV series.
I don't think prequels are necessary. I think sequels are better than prequels, and this is a little bit of a rant because you don't need to know what happened before. That was handled.
Yeah.
Sure, you can do stories in it, but you got to be really careful because I'll be honest, the Star Wars prequels aren't as good because they fill in what your mind already made up, and what they made up wasn't as good.
All right, John, what is your last one?
Oh, we'll call it number one.
Okay.
This is my number one, crime/drama. The Usual Suspects, aka the only movie I will not spoil. It's great. Great actors doing great performances with a great story and a great hook at the end. I mean, what are you going to say?
Yeah.
It's great. You should see it. I'm not going to spoil it.
Captain Mizzy, what is your number one?
The Princess Bride.
I can see
There
that.
you go.
Because
It's the
for
Princess
all
Bride.
the reasons Gonzo has already said, it's The Princess Bride. Everybody's great.
Yep.
And when Hollywood
What's
said that
the
they were
rest?
planning on remaking that, the hell shitstorm that they got from it.
Everyone rioted.
You can remake a cult classic like Marshall put Big Trouble in Little China on there. You could remake that. He put Tombstone, Ghostbusters, Predator, Last Starfighter. Any of those could make my list.
Last
Those are all great
Starfighter
movies.
almost made this list just because it's got a good nostalgic, type thing.
It's not as it did not mine because it's not as I didn't see it as young as I saw Black Hole.
Yeah.
But Ghostbusters could have. I didn't have 6 to put a comedy category in. Predator could have as action movie. I mean, it's if you're talking about Drunken Master, yeah, Drunken Master 2 is Andrew Roy. If you were doing single movies, could be part of a series. Drunken Master 2 is fucking amazing. Final category is top 5 TV series. Don't at me on these.
This one I had to do like a John thing. And I had to do it where I couldn't put it on the list, but I put it on here because my grandfather watched it with me, and he didn't get to watch the entire series because he was part of this, and it was Band of Brothers type thing. And Band of Brothers.
We can talk about the Brothers later.
Okay, it didn't make my list, but it is there.
It made my
It
list.
holds a special place. But my number 5, and this one I
Do you have some
struggled.
quick honorable mentions to throw out real quick? Let's throw a couple honorable mentions out there that we can just each
Okay,
of us
Band of Brothers was
throw
my
out real
honorable
quick.
mention.
But this is on my list. Mine were Doctor Who, Star Trek Next Generation, and Firefly.
Okay, Captain
Is
Mizzy.
he?
I don't have honorable mentions.
Okay,
Cool, no worries. You don't have to. They might come out as you talk about it. They go, oh yeah, that would be an honorable mention for me.
um,
Throw that out there, so don't
Firefly
expect me to
is-
talk
yeah.
about any of those. Yeah, it can't quite make the list, but man, it's really good. What could have been?
so my number 5, and when I saw this on regular TV, I was like, how the fuck did they get away with putting this much on here? And it is one of the very few TV shows that I actually put everything down and I watch because you can't, and it is Hannibal. This show is so good, but it is so not good. It is not right. It is not right at all. But it is done so well. It is done. I was really surprised it came on regular TV. This is a show that should have been on HBO Max with an R rating and a warning before it because it was so shocking. I was like, holy fuck. But it's acted so well. It's so creepy. It's so spooky, but it is done so good. And it ended. I know they said that they were thinking about bringing it back, and I'm just like, nah, just leave it alone, guys. Just leave it
Yeah,
alone.
sometimes you gotta leave it alone. They've done enough Hannibal stuff,
Yeah.
bunch of movies, couple reboots in there.
So for anybody that know, Hannibal is a prequel of how Hannibal when he worked with the crime lab and was doing stuff and helping them solve serial crimes. It's just so good,
Like Dexter.
so bad. So, but before Dexter. John, your number 5?
All right, my number 5 is the original Star Trek. It is groundbreaking. It is, like, with all due respect, Doctor Who, which is an honorable mention, it is probably the sci-fi series that made it possible for sci-fi series to be on TV.
And almost didn't make it on air.
It almost didn't make it itself, no.
Yeah.
And, like, 2 of the seasons are tight, good episodes mostly. Third season a little sketchy at points, but still some good stuff. And, of course, it spawned the whole franchise, let's say.
Oh yeah.
But it also spawned... technically it spawned Star Wars, made all that stuff popular. Sci-fi wasn't a big deal kind of until Star Trek kicked the door down. They probably didn't. They probably just beamed into the room and said, we're fucking here. What's up? But really good. I mean, think about the portrayals they gave us. They're all iconic. The whole bridge crew, the whole main cast is iconic.
Oh yeah.
It's an iconic series. We'll talk about some of yours, Marshall, and we'll throw yours other ones in as honorable mentions.
Captain Mizzy?
Busy?
Interview with the Vampire.
The new
Oh,
one
okay.
that you're talking about
It's
now?
a movie.
Yes, the new one that I
Yeah.
binge watched in like 2 days. 'Cause
That's an honorable
funny,
mention for
Apparently
me.
you liked it.
That's an honorable mention for me.
they did a really great job with it, and it's just gorgeous. Storytelling is there. Love it.
And they were really, like, you guys are, I think, Guns reviewed like 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I really liked it too. It was really solid.
Cool.
My number 4, the new Battlestar Galactica.
That's an honorable mention for me.
That one, when I first, I was late getting to it, so I didn't get to see like the first half of the series or first half of the season
dude.
1, and I went back and watched it. Everybody else was ahead of me, and I started watching it, and I was like, "Holy crap, this is really
The
good."
miniseries, I was like, okay, this is interesting. But then I think it was the first episode, 33. Fucking A.
Oh yeah,
That was like serious shit. It was good.
yeah. I mean,
I think
they take things and they did, Starbuck as a female.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, there's gonna be she was fucking great.
my downside diversity wise, they took both of the black characters and made them not black and one of them not male. Being Boomer and Colonel Ty.
Yeah.
But not that either of those actors did a terrible job. They did a fine job.
Yeah.
I thought most of the actors did a great job. I think it does fall apart a little bit at the end. There's a point where it takes a hard right turn, and you either need to be on board or not, and it loses a lot of people there. Still, the beginning before it's there, it's got some of the greatest space combat scenes ever.
Oh yeah.
Great
story.
Only beaten by another honorable mention, which is fucking my brain stopped. Amazon.
Expanse.
Yes, thank you.
What's your number 4, by the way?
My number 4 is Band of Brothers, which is on Marshall's list. It's just a great series.
It's done incredible.
It is so good that it overshadows even the Tom Hanks previous thing, which is Saving Private Ryan.
Oh yeah.
It overshadows that by just how good it is. I mean, sure, there's some stuff here or there that doesn't necessarily hit perfectly, but overall the series is top notch, and I don't think I could change much in it. You get to know these characters. There's never so many that you don't that you lose track of who they are. And honestly, they realistically come in and out of the series as necessary, as would be for people who are injured in a war and all.
Yep.
You know, it's great. Yeah, what can I say? It's fucking Band of Brothers. It's amazing.
Yep. Mizzy?
Mizzy?
Number 4 would be Ted Lasso.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet, so it's on my list, though.
I binged 2 seasons in 3 days.
Wow.
The feels are there, the story's there. You know, at first I was skeptical because I was like, it's a soccer show. Why is this so fucking
I've seen
good?
enough clips to know that it's good.
Yeah,
Now,
when I watched it, and
There's
I
a clip from it I used to teach my
why
people.
the fuck is this so good?
I use this clip from the dart game. You know, be curious. You know, don't judge, be curious. I use that to teach my people at work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I saw it, and I saw the first season, and I saw through the second season, this is Captain Mizzy. Just watch this. Trust me. Just watch this. And I think it was like halfway through season 1, you were like, fucking A, why is this so good?
Yes. Yes.
Which, my number 3, The Good Place. When I
That was
first
an honorable mention for me.
When I first started watching this, Kathy had recommended this to me because she was watching the first season, and I was watching it, and I was like, "This is okay. It's just gonna be another sitcom." And then it started to hit in the feels really quickly, really hard, and the comedy was really good. The things started kicking off, and then the ending of it is just perfect. I bawled my eyes out at the ending of this. It is a show that was a sleeper hit for me, and that's the reason why it's made my number 3. It was just so solid. And I wouldn't have given it a chance if Kathy wouldn't have said, go through about the first 4 or 5 episodes, and then it grabs you. And then it grabbed me. I mean, I was like, shit. And I told everybody else, watch this, go to the end, call me when you're done. I will be there to comfort you. I will be your aftercare. And it was just really solid.
If I remember correctly, you were there when we watched it.
Oh yeah, I was there whenever y'all watched the final episode, and
so
y'all
much feels.
So, John, you're number 3.
Chernobyl.
Ooh, that.
Yeah, it's fucking good though. Like, feels like poignant. Actors all doing a good job, being very reasonably close to the source material. It's one of the few where I watched all the way through, and then I considered watching it again right away. It's just really good. I've tried to convince John Marshall to watch it, but he has a reason to not necessarily want to, but he should. It's just good, top quality acting and everything. Like, if you're gonna make a limited series, that and Band of Brothers is why HBO is the bomb diggity. They put out shit like that. It's just 100% quality.
Oh yeah.
And it only barely beats out Band of Brothers. You could interswitch those on the list, and I would not have any real arguments against it. I feel like Chernobyl hit harder. It was sort of like a hobby topic of mine, and was really riveting the whole way through. Like, I watched 2 episodes, 1 episode, because you can't watch more than the 3rd episode. You have to stop afterwards because it hits pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
Then 1 episode, then 2 episodes. So I binged it in a pretty quick fashion for me. So, There you go. Mizzy?
Uh,
Creed.
Number 3 is a show that I got introduced to by my friend Jeremiah, who has watched it several times, and I will probably watch it again at some point. But it is Schitt's Creek.
I knew that was coming.
Okay. Schitt's Creek, yeah.
Because
A lot of people recommend Schitt's Creek.
it brings you on a roller coaster of emotions. The story is fantastic. It's hilarious, and just I love it.
It's legit.
Watch Schitt's
Legit?
Creek. You-
Schitt's Creek.
You were talking about John before the last one. You were like, I would watch this series again. And one of my honorable mentions I forgot to write down was Sandman, the Netflix series, because that's one of the few series that I've watched again.
Fair enough.
It was just done so well, so good, and each episode is very, very solid. I can't wait for season 2. But that one was one of my honorable mentions. My number 2, Ted Lasso. That shit's just good. That shit is just good. That is a show that is better than it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be about just, a football team, doing stuff and, the team and everything. And it actually, there is so much feels and so much emotions and so much love put into this show.
Every time I see a quote clip, I'm like, this is fucking great.
Yeah. You can tell if they put everything into this. This wasn't just here's some money making stuff. It was like, I swear, by the time they were done with this, they were all bawling and crying when the final scenes and stuff were done. Because you can tell they loved what they were doing in this.
No, it's good. But it's also good to get to go on their own terms.
Yes.
Love that. That makes the series better.
Yeah. John, you're number 2.
Babylon 5.
I was expecting that or number 1.
All due respect to any other sci-fi series, fucking Straczynski shows you how it's fucking done. Because he defied norms for fucking syndicated series and told an actual serial story, not an episodic story. Oh, you may think some of them are episodic, and then season 4 comes around, you're first back to the one-off from season 1. You're like, oh fuck, that wasn't just a one-off.
And which I still have not seen. I do have it on my list, but I think I want to watch it. Like, did they make a Blu-ray version of it?
I don't know. Probably.
Okay.
You haven't seen it?
No, I still have not seen Babylon 5.
Fuck,
have
man,
not.
what's wrong with you?
I have not seen
I
it
get-
either.
I give Captain Mizzy a pass. She's young.
Yeah.
She needs to catch
Thanks.
up on all this media before her.
When
I'm
it
trying.
Oh, man.
when it came out, I did not have the money to own a TV during that time.
Oh, wow. Okay, well.
So.
I did. It's great. It's what's worse is that it's great, and it could have been greater because they had to truncate season 4 and 5 into one season, and then they got picked up on another series for season 5. They tried to spin off. The spin-offs are both solid. The made-for-TV movies are pretty good. I have the new animated one downstairs to watch when I get the chance. But Babylon 5 is just fucking great. We're still working on a reboot of it, and I know people are like, "Oh, reboots." Straczynski's working on it, and I won't let him go. But I will say, if you watch it online, there's the Lurker's Guide to Babylon 5, because when Babylon 5 came out, the internet was in its nascent stage, and people would go on Usenet and they would chat with Straczynski and ask him questions. So don't read it beforehand. Read it after you watch the episode. You can pick up things and you can see things. There's no spoilers in it, but it'll explain things and help out with stuff, and it's great. I mean, Babylon 5. It was great. What can I say? And rip to many, many of the actors and actresses who worked on it. There's too much of them have passed, considering how relatively new it is. Mizzy, number 2.
That would be the live-action One Piece. Because
Okay.
look,
Oh,
they
fair.
did such a fucking good job. Okay, Oda
that.
is involved in it. It's just the set design, the casting, the
I will say
everything.
It's
The
also
casting-
on brand for you. It's okay.
Yeah,
It
the
is!
casting, knowing what I know about One Piece and the characters, and I've seen the artwork and everything, while I may not like the animation of the anime, they casted those characters spot on. And I'm not even a One Piece fan, but they were. I bet you when he walked in and started saying lines of when he started saying lines from the show, they were like, done. Done. You look like him. You sound like him. You act like him. You're perfect for this role.
And a lot of people criticize the casting of Sanji.
Yep.
But he's fucking perfect, man.
Oh, I found out that he actually went and started taking Taekwondo and started getting his belts and started, taking it serious. And you can see it in the show that he did that.
Yes. My heart. Anyway. Gonzo. What's your number one?
My number one is Firefly. And the reason why it falls in there
That's a bold choice.
is because there was so much potential for more, and it was just so good. And I didn't get to see it when it came out on TV because
No one did. It was aired out of order in
Yeah.
the death slot. No one saw that shit.
And-
That's the problem.
yeah, and somebody said wait till it comes out on DVD and then watch it and do it. And then it came out on DVD and I watched it and I was like, fucking hey, this is so fun.
If it came out in this day and age, it would have been a smash hit streaming.
Oh yeah.
But it came out in the wrong time.
It did. There is so much that was done right with this. The casting, the characters, the fun,
Oh, yeah.
and the world. The world
building
was
was great,
very
yeah.
interesting. And I really liked it. I was like, fuck, we could have had so much more out of this if it wasn't for Fox fucking it up. And, they
Can't have nice things.
I think it was funny. They asked them, what would you do? What would Fox have to do for you to be able to come back and play your role in Firefly? And they were like, they would have to do a Firefly themed park like Disney, which means they won't ever do it. But I mean, there's just so many good characters, so many good things that come up with it. And I agree with Banyan and Xander. Fox fucks up sci-fi so much, not even funny.
Oh, yeah.
I really like it. I like the casting. I like the world. And the thing is even though it was cut short, it's still one of the best sci-fi, TV shows on there because it's just so fun and interesting. And it's cowboys in space. I mean,
Well,
Yep.
goes along with my
Also,
Cowboy
let's be
Bebop.
honest, sci-fi TV has not exactly been the bastion of good sci-fi.
No, it's not.
Unless you want to talk about the Space Rangers.
Space and Above and Beyond. I remember watching that when that came out. Holy crap.
Yeah, Space and Above and Beyond was good.
Yep. So
If you go into anime, fucking God, what was that one anime? Exo Squad.
Yep.
But anyways, number one. John doesn't like sitcoms. Number
What?
one is MASH. Don't at me.
Yes.
It's MASH. You can watch episodes now, and they are poignant and meaningful and funny.
I would say that
Like-
MASH is an honorable mention for me.
yeah, I would say that too.
Amazing.
Just because, I
Glorious.
mean,
Fair, but
It was ahead of
MASH
its
is
time.
A sitcom, everything that was funny for me at the age I was at, and I go back and watch clips now, and they're everything we want them to be. Even and there are errors to MASH. Frank Burns was just a comedic foil villain, but then you get Winchester, and he's not. He's an actual developed. He's not an enemy. He's an antagonist. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And he has poignant moments that are fucking great. And it stands up nowadays. What can I say?
oh yeah.
It had, that was the easiest choice for me. MASH was number one, whereas 2 through 5 gonna fall in. And remember, I don't like sitcoms.
All right, Captain Mizzy,
Busy.
roll us out.
My number one is Star Trek.
Oh, I can't argue with that.
Okay.
I put it at number 5.
I was originally going to say, all of them because they're all just amazing as far as I'm concerned. But when John was talking about it, I was like, yeah, the original series, it holds a special place in my heart because that's one of the things that I grew up on. I would sit in the living room with my dad and we'd watch Star Trek. And just-
Yeah, and it means something when they did the Star Trek remastered, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all, but I don't actually care. It wasn't about the special effects. It was about telling the sci-fi stories.
And
Yep.
right now,
You know,
it's,
people are like, oh, I remember back when Star Trek wasn't woke. Motherfucker!
It was
Star
100%
Trek was
woke.
always woke.
Yes.
Star Trek was woke as fuck.
Was it like the first interracial kiss on TV?
Yep.
All of them.
Yeah.
You got the one where the aliens, one is black on the right side, white on the left side, the other one's vice versa, and they're fucking at work because they're different. You're like, that is fucking poignant sci-fi shit.
Yeah. I mean, and now, Strange New Worlds, one of the best sci-fi shows on TV right now.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Next Generation, you can do what you want. Next Generation is great.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that, I always like to say Deep Space Nine is great sci-fi but terrible Star Trek. Still great sci-fi. Yeah, Gene Roddenberry, yeah.
There was a few things that were listed in the chat.
Marshall listed Deadwood, which I never saw. Hell on Wheels, I never saw.
Hell on Wheels is
Firefly
good.
Band of Buzzers. Justified would also be an honorable mention for me. That's a great series.
Justified, I almost put that on my list. And the new one that just came out, which was a kind of a sequel.
City Primeval, yeah.
Yeah, City Primeval was good too if you haven't seen it.
And
Hell on
then
Wheels
he
is one of my
mentions-
favorite westerns.
Gotcha. And he mentioned Stranger Things, which was fighting for my list but didn't quite make it.
It was for me too, and I think the reason why it didn't make it is because I haven't seen the finale, and it was like just but it's still
It felt like it fell off towards the end. But
Yeah.
the rest of his honorable mentions are a lot of them are things I haven't seen, but the ones I have are all honorable mentions for me. The Wire, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, NCIS almost made my list. Stargate, Preacher, Black Sails, Dark Matter, Boardwalk Empire, 18, MacGyver, Yellowstone, Supernatural, Walking Dead, DS9, Mandalorian almost made my list. Red Dwarf, Witcher, Expanse almost made my list. Westworld, Penny Dreadful. I mean, there's a lot. You can honorable mention a lot.
Yeah.
Again, this is another one where you could go by genres and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what's funny is Sopranos is listed as the top TV show series of all time on a lot of sites. But the ending
Never
of
watched it. It's not really my thing.
No, but I mean, and it was good. I watched it when it came out, but the ending of it, it just puts such a bad taste in my mouth. I'd never watched The Wire, but The Wire is considered
it's
one
like
of the
Game
great
of
ones.
Thrones. Game of Thrones was Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones. Then last season, like, never mind.
Yeah. What was another one that he on there? Penny
Try to stick the
Dreadful.
landing.
Penny Dreadful was such a shocker for me of how good and fun it was.
Yeah.
I want to see that. It's got one of my favorite actors in it.
I've
Hartnett.
watched it
It's
in
great.
its entirety. It's fantastic.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, Witcher's. Most stuff he puts in there is all quality. I mean, 18 MacGyver. I watched the first couple of episodes of MacGyver a couple years ago. I'd like to watch some more, but I ain't got the time for all that. But it was a great series at the time. I know he's talking about the original, not the remake. 18 was great at the time. A lot of this stuff was. I mean, again, you got to do it by genre to really get it good. But we ain't got time for all that.
No, and that's the
No,
reason
we
why
ain't
it
got
was.
time to get to our actual media for this week.
But that's fine. Because when I brought this up, I was like, yeah, we could have broken this down by top 5
It would
drama TV shows.
A month. We would do a month.
Yeah.
And we may not get done then.
Easily.
Yeah. So it was kind of hard because I remember, Stargate. I like the TV show. It's one of my honorable mentions. But there's just certain things, and the ones that I picked, I went with heart and gut and just things that
There's
made
a bunch
me
I own
feel.
that I could definitely easily say.
Yeah.
That you guys would be like, what the fuck are you talking about, John?
So, I mean, there's just such
Literally,
good stuff.
NCIS was fighting for a spot at the bottom of my list.
What else? I'm looking at what else. Dark
Lexus
Matter,
came
man,
out,
I
it's
haven't
on
seen
my
that.
list.
Remember that in forever. And there was,
Yeah, Dark Matter doesn't make it for me, but it was definitely solid. But
Yeah.
it never really hit me the way it hit other people.
Yep.
I see what they liked. It felt like a more sci-fi in that sort of Firefly vein, but it never. Yeah,
V?
Farscape. There you go, Bad
V,
yeah.
that holds a very special place because I remember when
V
that
was
came
a
out on
fucking
TV.
Event, yeah.
Yeah.
It was an event when it came out.
People were talking about that was a great water
yeah.
cooler. I
Mainly
remember
on
people.
Farscape. I've had people on Twitter say that Farscape's like the second best sci-fi franchise ever, which I think is an old comment, but it's enjoyable. It's definitely crazy. I think Captain Mizzy would dig it.
Yeah, Farscape is. I never saw the entire thing from beginning to end, but I know a lot of people are.
I've seen the beginning. I've seen the end. Not all of the middle.
Yeah.
Just remember, crackers don't matter.
I remember in V, whenever the baby was born, how much of a shock it was
Oh my god, yeah, that was a fucking thing.
to the world.
Yeah. like people forget because V just sort of went from being like a event, and then it was just gone.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happens. It sort of pre-videotape being a big thing. Like, no one bought videotapes back then.
Yep.
They were prohibitively expensive. You'd rent them or tape stuff off cable, but just... Yeah, I remember way back that far.
So something else, like the Muppet Show. Great fun, great everything. Just didn't make my list because it's just kind of fun. I mean, Jim Henson makes, they make good shit.
Statler and Waldorf for the reason we are the way we are.
Yeah. So, guys, guess what? We're only a minute over, and we got through all of our subjects.
Oh.
We powered through some of them, but then,
Yeah.
and honestly, this is no way exhaustive. If you ask us again in a month, our list could completely change.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was just something fun.
Disclaimer
Except for
as
MASH.
it stands right now.
MASH is going to be #1 movie series. I mean, TV series. So it's not going to change.
Guys, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you going through all this. And we're glad that people actually, put up these really cool lists and reminded me of some shows like Preacher. I totally forgot about that. That was a great show.
And everyone wish Al Marshall happy birthday. His birthday's coming up here in a couple days.
So is yours.
Happy birthday, Al Marshall.
This is his first.
Okay, El Marshall, happy birthday. John's is coming up 28th, if I'm correct.
You are correct.
Yes.
It's good memory.
So, other than that, guys, as always, please take care of yourself. Please look after each other. If you see something, say something.
And we have said something tonight.
If you hear something, say something. If you can do something, do something. If you can't, find someone that will. You got to look after each other. Got to start standing up. Gotta.
Fight the good fight every day.
Oh, El Marshall made you transform. We gotta wait. We gotta wait. Forcing John to transform something. He's gonna take the easy road out.
This is why we have
Yeah, the only one I have handy is not easy at all.
Yeah.
So I have this when it comes at inconvenient times. Use a car now.
Guys, we're going to send y'all off to the Pyro Club like usual. Make sure you hang out. Hell hydrate for everybody. Marshall, we appreciate it. For More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Captain Mizzy.
Good night.